Hey guys, just doing a read aloud for you. Miss you guys. Hope you're staying safe and busy. Remember to get your packets done. Hope you enjoy the story. The Lorax by Dr. Seuss. At the far end of town where the grickle grass grows and the wind smells slow and sour when it blows, and no birds are ever singing except old crows, is the street of the lifted Lorax. And deep in the grickle grass, some people say, if you look deep enough, you can still see today where the Lorax once stood, just as long as it could, before somebody lifted the Lorax away. What was the Lorax, and why was it there, and why was it lifted and taken somewhere? From the far end of town where the grickle grass grows, the old unciler still lives here, and ask him, he knows. You won't see the unciler, don't knock at his door. He stays in his lurkum on the top of his store. He lurks in his lurkum, cold under the roof, where he makes his own clothes out of miffin muff moof. And on a special day, midnights in August, he peeks out the shutters, and sometimes he speaks and tells how the Lorax was lifted away. He'll tell you perhaps if you're willing to pay. On the end of a rope, he lets down a tin pail, and you have to toss in 50 cents and a nail, and the shell of a great-great-great-grandfather snail. Then he pulls up the pail, makes a most careful count to see if you paid the proper amount. Then he hides what you paid him away in his noov, his secret strange hole in his grooveless glove. Then he grunts, I will call you by whispering my phone, for the secrets I will tell you are for your ears alone. Way back in the days when the grass was still green and the pond was still wet and the clouds were still clean and the song of the swans rang out in space, and one morning I came to this glorious place and I first saw the trees, the truffula trees, the bright colorful tufts of the truffula trees, mile after mile in the fresh morning breeze. And under the trees I saw brown barbaloots frisking about in their barbaloot suits as they played in the shade and ate truffula fruits. From the rumpelous pond came the comfortable sound of the humming fish humming while splashing around. But those trees, those truffula trees, all my life I've been searching for trees such as these. The touch of their tufts were much softer than silk, and they had the sweet smell of fresh butterfly milk. I felt a great leaping of joy in my heart. I knew just what I'd do. I unloaded my cart. In no time at all, I had built a small shop. Then I chopped down a truffula tree with one chop. And with the great skillful skill and with great speedy speed, I took the soft tuft and I knitted at the knee. The instant I finished, I heard a gazump. I looked, I saw something pop out of the stump of the tree I had chopped down. It was sort of a man. Describe him? That's hard. I don't know if I can. He was shortish and oldish, and brownish and mossy. He spoke with a voice, and that was sharpish and bossy. Mister, he said with a sawdust sneeze, I'm the Lorax. I speak for the trees. I speak for the trees have no tongues, and I'm asking you, sir, at the top of my lungs. He was very upset as he shouted and puffed, what's that thing you've made out of my truffle tuft? Look, Lorax, I said, there's no cause for alarm. I chop just one tree. I'm doing no harm. I'm being quite useful. This thing is a need. A need is a fine something that all people need. It's a shirt, it's a sock, it's a glove, it's a hat. But it has other uses. Yes, far beyond that. You can use it for carpets, for pillows, for sheets, or curtains or covers for bicycle seats. The Lorax says, sir, you are crazy with greed. There's no one on earth who would buy that food for need. But the very next minute, I proved he was wrong, for just at that minute, a chap came along, and he thought that the thief that had knitted was great. He happily bought it for $3.98. I laughed at the Lorax, you poor stupid guy. You never can tell what some people will buy. I repeat, cried the Lorax, I speak for the trees. I'm busy, I told him. Shut up, if you please. I rushed across the room and in no time at all, built a radio phone. I put in a quick call. I called all my brothers and uncles and aunts and I said, listen here. Here's a wonderful chance for the whole Onslow family to get mighty rich. Get over here fast, take the road north niche, turn left at Wicker Hall, sharp right at Stop Stitch. And in no time at all, in the factory I built, the whole Onslow family was working full tilt. We were all in the knees, just as busy as bees, to the sound of the chopping of truffle trees. Then, oh baby, oh, how my business did grow. Now, chopping one tree at a time was too slow. So I quickly invented my super axe hacker, which whacked off 4 truffle trees at one smacker. We were making the knees 4 times as fast as before, and that Lorax, he didn't show up anymore. But the next week, he knocked on my new office door. He snapped. I'm the Lorax who speaks for the trees, which you seem to be chopping as fast as you please. But I'm also in charge of the brown Babaloots who play in the shade in their Babaloot suits and happily lived eating truffle fruits. Now, thanks to your hacking my trees to the ground, that's not enough truffle fruit to go around. And my poor Babaloots are all getting the crummies because they have gas and no food in their tummies. They love living here, but I can't let them stay. They'll have to find food, and I hope they may. Good luck, boys, he cried, and he sent them away. I, the Onslow, felt sad as I watched them all go. But business is business, and business must grow. Regardless of the crummies in the tummies, you know. I meant no harm, I most truly did not. But I had to grow bigger, so bigger I got. I biggered my factory, I biggered my roads, I biggered my wagons, I biggered the loads of the sneeze I shipped out. I was shipping them forth to the south, to the east, to the west, to the north. I went right on biggering, selling more the needs, and the bigger my money, which everyone needs. Then again he came back. I was fixing some pipes when that old nuisance Lorax came back with more gripes. I'm the Lorax, he coughed and he whiffed. He sneezed and he snuffed. He snarled and he sniffed. Ursula, he cried with a crumpleless croak. Ursula, you are making such marvelous smoke. My poor swarmy swans, why they can't sing a note. No one can sing who has smog in his throat. And so, said the Lords, please pardon my cough. They cannot live here, so I'm sending them off. Where will they go? I don't hopefully know. They may have to fly for a month or a year to escape the smog you've smogged up around here. Once more, snapped the Lorax. His dander was up. Let me say a few words about Glumpity Glump. Your machinery chugs on day and night without stop, making glumpity glump, also sloppity slop. And what do you do with this leftover goo? I'll show you, you dirty old Ursula man, you. You're glumping the pond where the humming fish hum. No more can they hum, for their gills are all gone. So I'm sending them off. Oh, their future is dreary. They'll walk on their fins and get woefully weary in search of some water that isn't so smeary. Oh, poor fish. And then I got mad. I got terribly mad. I yelled at the Lorax. Now listen here, Dad. All you do is yap yap and say bad, 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 bad. Well, I have my rights, sir, and I'm telling you, I intend to go on doing just what I do. And for your information, you Lorax, I'm figuring on biggering and biggering and biggering and biggering and turning more trouble of trees into the knees, which everyone needs. And at that very moment, we heard a loud whack. From outside in the fields came a sickening smack. An axe on a tree, then we heard the tree fall, the very last truffle tree of them all. No more trees, no more the knees, no more work to be done. So in no time, my uncles and aunts and everyone all waved me goodbye. They jumped into my cars and drove away under the smoke smoggled stars. Now all that was left beneath the bad smelling sky was my big empty factory, the Lorax, and I. The Lorax said nothing, just gave me a glance. Just gave me a very sad backward glance as he lifted himself by the seat of his pants, and I'll never forget the grim look on his face when he hoisted himself and took leave of this place through a hole in the smog without leaving a trace. And all that the Lorax left here is this mess was a small pile of rocks with the one word, unless. Whatever that meant, well, I just couldn't guess. That was long, long ago, but each day since that day, I've sat here and worried away. Through the years while my buildings have fallen apart, I've worried about it with all of my heart. But now, said the Ursula, now that you're here, the word of the Lorax seems perfectly clear. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better. It's not. So catch, calls the Ursula. He let something fall. It's a truffle seed. It's the last one of all. You're in charge of the last of the truffle seeds, and truffle trees are what everyone needs. Plant a new truffle, treat it with care, give it clean water, and feed it fresh air. Grow a forest, protect it from axes that hack, then the Lorax and all of his friends may come back. The end. Hope you enjoyed the story. I'll try to post another one tomorrow. Bye.